Call a meeting of the Middletown Police Commission to order. Chief, do you want to do the roll?
Yes, sir. Start of the meeting, 7:30 or 4:37 p.m. In attendance today is Mayor Stefano, Commissioners Rodriguez, Vignola, Sullivan, and Mills, and myself as the Secretary of the Commission.
Okay, items on the agenda.
So this evening, in addition to our regular business, we do have some interviews for both police officer candidates, lieutenant positions, and sergeant's positions. So with our normal course of business, communications, I did forward the commission a press release in regards to an incident that occurred on December 29th. If there's any discussion on that? Any further details?
No, sir.
No? Okay. Moving into new business, I did forward the commission the December monthly minutes from the meeting for your review. I do have them with me this evening if you would like to discuss them, review them, address any omissions, errors. Anyone? Okay. So, being there's no discussion, could I have a motion to accept them as written?
Motion.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The December monthly report, which is also pretty much the year-end, a year-end report, I did forward it to the commission yesterday, just so we were able to get it done so that we could review it. Just some quick numbers to go over. For the month of December, we handled 2,301 calls, which was a 3% decrease over November. Year to date, we handled 36,215 calls, and that was a increase of 2,739 calls over 2020. In 2021, the Part 1 crimes, we saw a 16% decrease year to date over the previous year, and a 12.5% decrease over the previous month. Part 2 crimes, year to date for 2021, we saw a decrease of 15.5% and a 1.5% decrease over the previous month. Arrests, 2021, we made 1,743 arrests. 2020, we made 1,929. So there was a decrease from 20 to 21 of 186. In the month of December, we made 158 arrests, which was a 40% increase over the previous month, and it was a 10% decrease year to date. Traffic summons. For the month of December, we issued 238 traffic summons, which was a 20% increase from the previous month, and it was a 31% increase year to date. 2021, we issued 3,656 traffic summons versus 2,782 in 2020. Uses of force for the month of December, there were 6 uses of force, which equates to 3.7% of total arrests for the month. 2021, we had 87 uses of force, incidents that ended with the use of force. 2020, we had 52, so there's an increase of 35 in 2021. Would the commission like to discuss the stats any further?
No, I think they're good numbers, but Chief, as we always say, we like to look at it over a 5-year trend. Yep. Because any one point in time is not indicative of how things are moving, but I think we're continuing to move in the right direction with that.
Yes, I agree with you, sir. Also, as I mentioned in some private meetings with you, Mayor, the domestics in the month of December were through the roof, I think.
Yeah.
I felt like every report was a domestic. But,
we still have our relationship with the former.
Yes.
What's it called now?
It's not Safe Homes anymore.
No.
I can see it.
The former Safe Homes.
Yes. So domestics in the month of December, we did 67. The previous month we had 46. So it was a 46% increase in domestic calls from November to December.
Wow.
Yeah, it was. I was surprised how many there were. So some quick updates on staffing. As we sit here this evening, there are 6 police officer vacancies within the department. I currently have 61 sworn members, budgeted for 71. Out of those numbers, we also have 3 lieutenant vacancies and 3 sergeant vacancies, which hopefully we could address those this evening. Out of my current staff, I have 1 on disability, 1 on maternity leave, and 5 in field training. Officer Deborah Rivera, which was formerly Deborah Summer, is planning to retire at the end of this month. January 28th is her last day with the department after serving 20 years. We will be hosting a luncheon for her on the 28th at 2 o'clock and a walkout at 3:45 p.m. that day. The commission is welcome to join us. Some of our new officers, the last 5 officers that were hired and or just completed the police academy, which are Officer Uven, Officer Zagui, Officer Carabella, Officer Harcher, and Officer Rupert. They're all in field training, doing well, progressing very good so far. We're also working on, I have 2 additional police officer backgrounds that are being worked on right now. Both are certified police officers. So with any luck, we'll have them completed for the February meeting for your review. I'm also working on 1 dispatcher background. We did have 3 candidates. Myself and my admin team reviewed them, and we selected a candidate to start the background on who is bilingual, has some dispatch experiencing in a trucking company, so we're hoping that her qualifications will be easily transferred into the police environment. But we still have a long way to go on her background. The police academy graduation, the last 2 officers, Uven and Zagui, were supposed to graduate on January 7th, but due to COVID issues and the rising numbers, it was decided not to host an in-person graduation. It's been postponed. Right now, the tentative date is February 15th. They've officially graduated from the police academy. They just have not had their ceremonial services. So if numbers continue to go down and things are safe, we'll have an event on February 15th, 10 a.m. at the Paramount Theater. And the next police academy is scheduled to begin on February 21st, which is why the 3 officers or 3 candidates will be presented to you this evening. That way, if they are selected, we have ample time to get them accommodated through the medical and psychological exams and prepared to begin the academy on the 21st. Any questions in regards to staffing? I also forward the commission several year-end reports, uses of force, motor vehicle accidents by involving officers, pursuits, disciplinary matters, personnel complaints, firearm discharge report, and repeat arrest reports. Is there anyone that would like to discuss them in further detail? Training, since the last time we met in December, the trainings that the department has participated in. We began our quarterly firearms and reality-based training procedure. The reality-based training is a biannual training. The firearms is quarterly. That began on January 17th, and it'll run through January 28th. Everyone in the department will attend both of those trainings. Additionally, we sent 5 police officers to, it's called Street Smart Cop Proactive Patrol Tactics. Those officers McHugh, Giovanelio, Ortiz, Harlan, and Coletti. December is a tough month for training with all of the holidays going on, but we did have some, which is good. Moving on into new programs, we're fortunate enough that the city just approved through the ARPA money to allow the department to buy the Lexipol programming, which is the program that I've spoken about in the past in regards to it's outside vendor that helps design, develop, and oversee our policy and procedure. It's a team of attorneys. They work on it. That's their business. It's not myself and my team inside trying to make our best judgment of the policies and procedures. We're governed and guided by New York State accreditation, but now this will be a team. They also use the accreditation standards. Many of our surrounding departments have transitioned to this company over the last several years, are very satisfied and very happy with it. There's some real robust features, such as you could set up a daily sign-in where the officer signs in. We could create like a review of a specific policy where they have to answer 3 or 5 questions from that policy as a continued review, and it keeps track of that. We could also incorporate some of the training elements that like PPE training or workplace harassment training. Those types of things could be built into this program so they could do that remotely and then free us up some in-class time for some other types of training. So I believe it'll be a great asset to the department. It'll definitely free up some of our personnel hours as well. Since the last time that we met, I've had 14 employees impacted by COVID. Currently, that's throughout the month. I don't have 14 altogether right now. That was spread out through the month. Currently, as we sit here today, I have 5 that are out due to COVID. And we are following the city's most up-to-date and current COVID policy. Upcoming events, we had our Youth Leadership Academy kick off yesterday. This is a grant program that is being funded by the Orange County Youth Bureau in collaboration with New York State. Great program. I think we put a lot of effort into putting together a good agenda. We have 15 participants aging from like 14 to 18, pulled from Twin Towers School and the high school. I attended last night, spoke with the group. I think we have a real good group. It was more chatty than I anticipated for the first day, which is good that they're participating. Well, I have to give a lot of credit to the SROs in both Twin Towers and the high school because they did the recruiting. We went around and asked every single person in the class why they were there. They all had a reason, but parts of almost every one of their reasons is because the SRO sought them out and encouraged them to attend. So I think that's very, very good. 12-week program, and we have a lot of good things in store for them. So it's Wednesday nights if anybody ever wants to stop by. It's at the Police Academy from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. As part of the grant, we're able to pick them up, drop them off, and we're able to feed them all on the grant money. So hopefully it's a good program.
How many kids?
15. We're hoping for 20 to 25, but we ended up with 15.
All city residents, Chief, or school district?
I don't know their exact addresses, Mayor, but I do believe they are because it's convenient enough for us to pick them up and drop them off.
Okay.
Parks and Rec is helping us with that. They're allowing us to use their bus, which is also very nice. It helps with the transportation. Some case review since the last time we met. Just want to touch on some cases. If you would like to go into detail further, I do have the reports with me. The first one would be December 25th. We had Christmas night. There was a call for a suspicious person. The officers were able to locate him on Prospect Avenue. The person was going around stealing mail, opposite her, more towards West Prospect.
I didn't hear this one.
So someone saw him going through packages and mail and stuff, and the officers were able to locate him. And he was in the process of opening stuff as the officers pulled up on him. Lived in the area. They were able to take him into custody. He did struggle a little bit with the officers, but we were able to at least get him. And I thought that was pretty good considering we've had a rash of package and mail larcenies throughout the holiday season. December 26th, we had a shots fired call at 75 Monhagan Avenue. Thus far, there's no arrest. We have no suspects. All we have right now is a vehicle pulls up alongside of the house, and from within the vehicle, it appears the passenger fires into the house, target being the second floor apartment. No one is shot. There were people in the apartment at the time. We know there was at least 6 shots. We do, however, believe that is directly related to this next incident, which is the December 29th incident, which occurred on Highland Avenue. As we were speaking a little bit before, there have been no arrests so far. We know there's at least 2 suspects and at least 3 possible victims. We've identified 2 of the victims and 1 of the suspects. Nobody's being cooperative thus far, so it's still kind of putting the pieces of the puzzle together. We have a good idea of who we're dealing with, what we're dealing with. It's just kind of bringing everything all together. I also mentioned that the one person that we did arrest, we believe he's involved in this. We arrested him on a separate incident. He's been released already without bail as well. January 1st, we had an additional shots fired call at 22 Montgomery Street, the Downtown Village Apartments. This is obviously New Year's Eve into New Year's Day. There's a party being hosted there by one of the residents of the new apartments. If you're not familiar with the apartments, very beautiful apartments, very well done. Kind of gated in. Ends up being a domestic incident, ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend. The girlfriend lives at the apartments. She's having a party and gathering with her friends. The ex-boyfriend shows up with his friends. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's a total of 3 times he shows up. He's chased away. On the 3rd time, he actually pushes into the apartment, breaks the door, ends up in a confrontation inside. She ends up defending herself and stabbing him. During the mix of the commotion, his partner in the car blasts 1 shot into the wall of the building. We have him. He's been charged. We do not have the other person in the car yet. So that's still, again, a work in progress. But we do have him, we have her. We have not charged her because the initial investigation shows she was defending herself. So it was a busy holiday season. January 5th, we had a pretty serious assault at 126 East Main, the Switch Inn. In the wee hours of the morning, there's a confrontation inside between patrons, obviously alcohol involved. Bartenders kicked them out. I believe there's 4 of them altogether. Once they get outside, the one gentleman who ends up being our victim later on is trying to actually stab one of the other people. There's back and forth outside. He ends up popping the tires on the one person's car, and then they take an item out of the car and throw it at the gentleman, hit him in the back of the head, and he's out for the count. Serious injury to his head. So we have a majority of that on video. It's just identifying who the players are and getting some cooperation from the bartenders. The last incident I have, just as an update, is actually occurred 2 days ago at the high school. There is a fight between 2 15-year-old females. In the course of that fight, our SRO, Lucia Laba, tried to help and ended up injuring himself. He ended up dislocating his shoulder. He is returned to work, thank God, and he seems to be okay. But at first, it seemed a little touch and go. Anyway, the 2 females were actually being escorted out of the school by their parents and the admin and security staff due to a prior incident. And as they reached the main lobby of the school, they exploded into violent behavior again in front of their parents, in front of the school staff, so on and so forth. As they were trying to calm them down, wrestle around with them, Lou Shalaba came in to help. And he wasn't the primary person involved, but he did see what was going on and came and helped. But knock on wood, hopefully he'll be okay. Showed right back up to work. Thus far, has not missed any work as a result of it. Would you like any further information on any of those cases or any other cases? You look concerned.
No, I'm just curious about the outcome of the 2 young girls.
That I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. As far as internal investigations, I know it's been a couple months since I forwarded any to the commission. They are still being worked on. We are trying to prioritize them amongst other things. As you're aware, in September, I lost my other bureau commander. So we've been kind of balancing things out, trying to make sure we get through the things we need to get through. So there are many in progress, and you will be receiving some hopefully in February to get us back on track. Other than that, I have nothing else except to see if you guys have anything or if anyone's online. Nobody?
Eileen?
Eileen, anyone online?
There is not.
Okay. So, being no further business, could I have a motion to move into?
Motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
So the commission will move into executive session at 4:55 PM for the purpose of addressing personnel matters to include interviews.
Please be advised this ends the public portion of today's meeting. Thank you.